So, Goldie Roger found the One Piece, right? So, some spoilers for just the entire series. If you're not caught up, just keep scrolling. So he found the One Piece, but I have a feeling if he actually activated the One Piece, if it was an item that does something, it would have changed something drastically. Like the trajectory of the world would be changed. Now, the reason why I don't think he activated it, I think it requires one thing. It requires a sun god Nika power. Or I think it does. I think it's similar to how just straight up freaking what's the name of that elephant that Zoe is on? I forgot his name. He knew it immediately after the Drums of Liberation started to play. Immediately. So that tells me that drums kind of not play at a frequency or anything like that, but kind of like that. So I've got a feeling that kind of power would activate something. Now, here's where it gets a little funny. You want to know something? When we see in the mural here, the sun god, Nika, hypothetically, is right here. You see the arm, it stretches, right? But the shield is kept close. Now, what I was thinking was, if hypothetically per se, that it is similar to Enma, One Piece, where it takes the user's hand or something like that of that nature and kind of destroys it, because there's no bounds to technically Nika's ability to stretch and bend and whatever, but that arm's looking mighty stubby if you ask me. Now this could be the reason why Shanks gave up his one left arm for saving Luffy's life. This could be a precursor for that. So if once the One Piece is found, if it requires Luffy to sacrifice his left arm, Shanks has already done that once for him. So that would be a good trade-off right there, in my opinion. But that could be a reason right there. Also, we at least know it needs to be active because the Gomu Gomu no Mi needs to be active. Because once Shanks saw it active, then he's like, alright, time to go get it, time to go get the One Piece. Now, Roger did not have the Sun God Nika Devil Fruit, first of all, in the first place. Second of all, he didn't even have it awakened or even anywhere near his crew. Now, that's what I think he told him, Shanks here, when he got back from Left Tail. It's like, you need certain things, there's certain requirements that need to be met to activate the One Piece, and that's kind of my whole theory here. Now, when Luffy originally eats the Gum Gum fruit here, Shanks knows the exact fruit. This is something I'm trying to use to back up what I just said. He knew the exact fruit, which we all know is kind of varied, but we all know it kind of means, basically, if you research the fruit, you know what it is. You know what it looks like, right? Now, I would imagine that would be hard to do, given that this fruit right here is one of the most wanted fruits by the world government. So, for Shanks to know exactly what that kind of fruit is, first of all, means that he did his research, or Roger told him what he needed, and he researched that. But that's a lot easier said than done in this verse, of course. Now, when Luffy first obtains the Gum Gum powers, it seems like they're rubber. They're not a Zoan type, which makes sense given that it's a god's fruit. But still, it's kind of odd. So, before this scene, I'm not going to try and screen grab it, but Shanks gets beer poured all over him, which I think beforehand he had just found this prior to showing up at it's not Syrup Village, but wherever Luffy was at this moment in time. So he gets beer poured all over him, and he could care less, where Luffy would just go berserk here, right? I think he was just overjoyed that he finally found the fruit, right? After years of searching. So now this would make sense why he didn't care about the beer too. And it would also kind of make sense so he would rework his plan to incorporate Luffy into it. If Luffy became the sun god, instead of Shanks here, this makes a little bit more sense. But anyways, I feel like I'm trying to pond away from the point I'm trying to make. But one thing real quick. Guess who doesn't have a left hand, one of the only people in this series with a hook? Crocodile. Now, Crocodile doesn't have a hook. I feel like he found the One Piece, maybe. I don't know. He seems to have a similar ability to Enma, but that's an entirely different video. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Bye.